Hey guys, welcome back. Today is episode 76 of Steve Plays Minecraft. On the last episode, we started building a minecart collection system to bring the sugarcane from the farm to my item sorter. Today I plan on completing it, but it's going to be rough because I don't fully understand how powered rails work yet. I started today's episode by flying over to my gold farm, a few thousand blocks away. I went AFK for a while and got some gold. I love flying past some of the new cliffs. I think they're really neat. I started the machine up, put a few lava buckets in to power it, and afterwards I filled some shulkers with rotten flesh so the machine wouldn't get back up and break on me. I went AFK until my game crashed while I was away. When I came back, I went back to the gold farm and grabbed all the gold that came from the farm. After that, I headed back home and grabbed the stuff I would need to make my rail system, and I got to work. This is my first time working with rails, so it took me quite a while to figure out everything. At first, I was going to try to stop it with a sticky piston using gravity to start it, but unfortunately that didn't work out in the end, so I had to come up with a new plan. I moved my chest over that had boots in it, and made some space for my rail. I fell through the holes in my roof that I accidentally made like 5 different times, to the point where it became a bit frustrating. It made me think about future projects. I'll have to build something tougher than netherrack, or build at least 2 thick so that I don't break it as easily. So after I did some testing to fully understand how powered rails and activated rails work and a few minutes of messing around, I thought I had a plan. My plan was to set up something similar to a roller coaster, which uses momentum to go up on one side and then comes back down. I wanted it to go high enough up so I would have enough time to activate a piston to stop it in its tracks. But unfortunately, when I tried to set it up like that, the piston didn't stop the minecart at all, and the minecart went through a solid block. So I got to work setting up the system. I had no idea how much speed I was going to have coming up into the house, or how high up I was going to have to make it, so I just wanted to do trial and error. And I went a few blocks extra because I kept on having too much momentum. So I just left it for the time being. Next, I started working on the other end. Just like in last episode, the ocean had gotten in the way, so I used a few stack of blocks in order to make it so I could mine a little bit without getting water everywhere. It took me a little bit to figure out what to do on this side, but then I had an epiphany moment. I learned that I could use power rails and a lever to send it back up whenever I wanted. So after that, I went along the track and made sure I had enough powered rails so that it could go both ways without stopping, even if something got in the way slightly. Then I tested it out a bit, and it turns out the ramp on the other end wasn't high enough because I had too much momentum coming into the house. So I made that side a little bit higher. At this point it was pretty much done. The essentials were there and everything was working, but I wanted to make it a little bit nicer. I wanted to make it so that when I'm in my base, the levers control the farms and also the minecart. So I got the materials I would need and started connecting redstone dust and a lever from the farms to my base. Once I had the first line done, I went and crafted some repeaters so the signal strength could make it all the way. And then I created some ugly cobblestone staircases for 2 of my lines of redstone dust. Once I was done, I was happy with how it turned out, and it was working perfectly. I grabbed some signs and labeled my levers, dropped off my items at the item sorter. After that, I noticed that I had a lot of buckets and not a lot of lava, so I headed off to the nether to get a refill. I struggled with a few magma cubes. Those things are the bane of my existence, let me tell you. At one point I even got down to half a heart and almost died, but after a few minutes of fighting I was able to fend them all off. Once I filled up about 2 shulkers with lava, I got the heck out of there and headed back to my house. I dropped off the lava and headed over to the potato farm, added about 2 rows this time, needed quite a few potatoes because I was completely out, cleared some dirt, added a few buckets worth of water, and did some general maintenance around the farm. After that, I fed a few cows and then slaughtered some. Headed off to my old mob farm to go AFK for a few minutes. Once I came back, I went to a potato farm and started clearing some dirt. I got quite a bit of dirt. I went back home and cleaned up around my base for a bit, got rid of some old chests that I didn't need anymore, and cooked them cows up. That's when I decided I wanted to make an improvement on my rail system. I wanted to make the top the same as the bottom, so I would only need a lever to send it down, and I could empty the chest all the way every time. After I finished that, I went and took whatever gold I had left over to my Millennium Puzzle project and placed it. Next episode, I plan on finally expanding my item sorter. I hope you tune in. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, you are a real dad. Congratulations. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.